Hi, this is Phil, and I'm here to tell you all about the Capes and Lunatics Patreon. Get early access to all of our interviews, including the monthly Chichester chats with writer and comic book legend DG Chichester, new episodes of classic Capes and Lunatics shows, including The Quantum Zone, This, That, or the Third, and many, many more specials, all completely uncensored. Access starts for $3 a month, full video when you pledge $5 a month. Check out the link in our show notes or go to patreon.com/capesandlunatics. Hope to see you there.
This is Luca Perich, host of a Totally Turtle Sports and Gaming YouTube channel, and you're listening to the Capes and Lunatics Podcast Network.
Diggity dank.
Hello and welcome back to another week of the Nightwing News. The greatest hero in the DC universe. I am Phil. Joining me, as always, it is.
Hello, I'm Kristen.
Oh, jeez.
What?
Hello, Lilith Hellfire.
Oh. What's up?
Always feel free to jump on, Lilith Hellfire. All right, kids. Tonight we're going to be covering Nightwing 125 through 128. I don't think I need to give a year. There's only been one Nightwing 125, 126, 127, 128 so far.
Yeah, but it is the end of 2006 into 2007.
Yes.
So you get a sense of how long ago it was.
Look, I was too lazy to dig my copies up. If you're watching Little Hellfire, hit the like button. All right. But you want to show everyone your acquisition you got this week?
I found one at Walmart, and it's very nice. Here's the little description at the back. Dick Grayson, trademark, began his crime-fighting career as the original Robin, trademark, Batman's, trademark, protege, and crime-fighting partner. An expert acrobat and skilled fighter, Dick eventually left the nest and ventured out on his own as a new hero called Nightwing. Also trademarked. But also, we can feel good that mad props to Dick. I think there's only 9 of these out there. I think they just must have started them in 2022.
Maybe.
Yeah, on the back it says collect them all, and the choices are Superman, Darkseid, Batman, John Stewart Green Lantern, Flash, the Batman Who Laughs, Wonder Woman, Nightwing, and Deathstroke.
Oh.
And then they have a Batwing and a Supermobile.
See, now you're going to get the Deathstroke one that can set up a fight scene.
Well, I didn't see the Deathstroke one of the store yet, so we'll see.
Yeah, I've only seen a few at I haven't looked lately. I got to go try to find that Nightwing. But I have seen the John Stewart figure before. I should have picked up that too. Yeah, it's like based on like the 80s Super Powers line, but it's like, yeah, a lot of new characters who weren't like Nightwing. Like, they had I think it was Dick, but they had a Robin that was in the like early 80s. So, but yeah, they didn't do like Deathstroke or like they had Hal Jordan Green Lantern, not John Stewart. Yes, I know you. I know you love her merch with Hellfire. You have what, close to or over 200 Funkos, correct, Lil Hellfire?
When was John Stewart? Was he around in the 80s?
Yes. No. They first introduced him, wasn't in the 70s, but yeah, there wasn't. It was all Hal Jordan merch. Come on, Lilith. I know you're over there shaking your fist like Hal Jordan.
Boo.
Yeah, what kind of maniac likes Hal Jordan?
I, of course, love Hal Jordan.
Thank you, Will. But yeah, I have to go. I haven't been to Walmart in a while. I have to go, or like sometimes Danielle will go. Next time she goes, I'm going. Next time she goes shopping for food and goes, "What do you want?" I should be like, Nightwing figure.
You should look it up on the app though, just to check which Walmart it's at, because I don't go to Walmart. I only went And I actually had to go twice because I looked it up on the app and it said it was there, and I went and it wasn't there. And I was shake my fist.
Yeah.
So then I came home and I ordered it on the app for pickup, and they had it. So I don't know if it was just in the back, and maybe if I had asked somebody, it would have gotten it for me. I don't know. So
Yeah.
potentially order it ahead if you know your wife's going.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, because I know. Well, or if I go myself, I know there's at least 2 Walmarts nearby. There's a third if I want to venture into the bad neighborhood. But yeah, there's. I do have the app. You're right. I should look first.
Yeah, I would look it up.
Or even if they don't have it, I think some of the stores like them and Target might, you can like order it and like they'll ship it free to the store, and then you just pick it up at your local store.
Yeah, they might have that.
So if I have to order it and then free, that would be free shipping at least. All right. So shall we get into these issues?
Let's do it.
Because I don't think we had any current appearances for Dick last week. So
no, the Titans are not back, right?
Nope. That's well, the best Walmarts are usually in less than savory neighborhoods. I don't know. We have 2, and then there's the one. Like I said, I think the police pretty much camp out there 24/7. So
tell one of them to pick you up one.
Oh, there you go. Shop with a cop. Yes. Nice. All right. So Nightwing 25. December 2000.
125.
125. That's right.
So what came right before this? Was this tentacle monster Jason Todd? Was that what happened right before this? Okay.
Yes. Those 1 year later stories we covered. Yes, that was right before this.
That was right before that. Okay.
Yeah, so it was the Devon stuff, then we dove in the 1 year later, and then we get to this. So yeah, this is like after Infinite Crisis. That's why we're getting shadowy figures saying, Dick Grayson, you were supposed to die.
Right, which is interesting. And I guess maybe that sort of emphasizes that maybe the 1 year later stuff was, I don't know, kind of cobbled together or was supposed to be somebody else or something. Because in here, they're doing a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, this is almost a year. I mean, it's a whole run that was multiple issues after he came back and was supposed to die, but they're acting like nothing, like no time happened.
Well, yeah, all the tentacle monster stuff, all that Bruce Jones stuff is like, yeah, I think they had to like quickly rewrite. Oh, it's not Jason, it's Dick, and now we're at the point where they're like, they know, these stories are written for Dick.
Mm-hmm.
Well, just get your ass on here. DC cobbling stories together, no way.
Right? Yeah, shocking.
I was going to say, who was that shadowy figure who said, "Oh, Dick Grayson, you were supposed to die"? Was that the Dido? I'm sorry, I don't want to talk bad about Lilith's new friend. All right,
he's not her friend.
She was trying to talk to him because Lilith, was that the Dido or his wife you met at that? I guess they must live down there, so she was trying to like get us an interview.
Rip him.
So, yes, it was him. Yes, see.
Okay.
Well, Kristen said he must answer for his almost crime, for his almost murder. All right. So yes, this one starts.
So like overall, I thought this was pretty good, but there were a couple of times in it that I thought, Marv, this is kind of different from the Dick you wrote in the 80s.
Yeah. I'm like, was that intentional? Was it just?
Yeah, I mean, they did kind of. I mean, I shouldn't say they sexed him up because.
How can you?
Because he was definitely near the end of Titans. There were some issues with that, but then maybe some of the writers leaned, which is one of the things I appreciate about the current stuff, because Tom Taylor does not lean into that. Very much doesn't. Some writers more than others kind of try to make him almost like a Bruce-esque kind of
Yeah.
playboy, and I don't think that's quite right. I think he's a romantic.
Exactly. But did you notice it's written, or I mean, it's the artist is Dan Jurgens,
I did.
and then you see who we Dick starts fighting with on page 2. A figure in armor named Raptor.
Yep. I also see that Peter Tomasi was the editor, and
Yes.
he wrote some good Nightwing stuff at the end.
Yeah, you'll see that in comics over the years. It's like, a guy will be editing, and then all of a sudden, a year or two later, he's writing the book. I think a lot of times
stuff happens.
I think a lot of times if guys like love a certain character, and at the opening, the editor is like, here's my shot. Now I get to write, I get to write the book.
Could be.
So yes, so we finding a mysterious figure named Raptor.
I mean, the stuff in the first part is good.
Oh yeah.
At the beginning, where he's like, we need to develop our hearts and minds. And as much as I admire and love Bruce, I don't want to become him. That's wise.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he seems more like himself, after that Bruce Jones stuff that was just really.
Right.
But again, I mean, we're still getting the whole, Barbara's gone. It's like, we'll call her.
Right, yeah, because that was kind of never clear, right?
No,
I mean, he proposed to her.
Well, remember that,
and then
that
Infinite Crisis happened, and then 1 year later, and it's like,
well, no, we get that second annual later on that it kind of tried to bridges that gap. The one where he,
I know
he cheats on Corey with her. Yeah, that's basically the only word we actually got on that time. But
they did a terrible job bridging that gap because it sucks.
I know. So so he's fighting Raptor, but then all of a sudden he gets distracted when he hears a voice out of nowhere. Dick Grayson, you were supposed to die. So yeah, Raptor gets away and Dick hurts his shoulder.
Yep.
Oh, but then he finds the guy, and he finds Raptor in biotech pharmaceuticals. Oh my god, how dark is that? Where he's just like, looks like Raptor's like burned this guy to death. He's like, oh, the smell of charred flesh. I'm familiar with it because I smelled it coming off myself once.
Yeah, that's recently. Gnarly.
Yeah. But of course, Raptor says he didn't do it.
Yep.
So I kind of like that. Marv's kind of trying to set up a detective, murder mystery.
Yep. And then he meets some neighbors in his apartment.
And of course they're young, attractive females.
Right. Yes.
And what's her face? The one is, I mean, she's already like putting her hand on it. Hey, no, nothing bad, but just like touching his arm or touching his chest. It's like, really? Did he just meet like 5 seconds ago?
Yep. You know how it is in comics.
Yes. But yeah, it's Ryan, and she says, she offers a massage because she does that.
And she like does him a chiropractor thing.
Oh, and then the other one is Zen. She's like, the girl ogling your butt. Well, see, we're already getting butt. But
I do like Zen. She's like, I do not require a last name because that is a historical artifice indicating possession or position. I was like, she sounds hilarious.
Lilith, that butt has its own gravitational pull. Yeah, pulls all the women's eyes to it. And then Ryan like cracks his back. Jeez.
Yeah, his spine was messed up, she said. Which seems believable. But this part, Are you ready? When he gets to the next one and he's thinking about jobs, I don't understand why he thinks a cab would be a good job.
He thinks about driving a cab. We have Raptor. I wonder if these ideas will ever resurface.
But it's like being a cab driver in New York is one of the most dangerous jobs.
Well, I wonder if that was his whole point. It's like, oh, it might take me to, some crime scenes or,
Yeah,
Or
or somebody could come and shoot you up and try to. That feels like I was like, for real, that's a terrible idea. Plus, I'm pretty sure in New York City, you can't just be like, this is pre-Uber. You can't just be, oh, I'm going to be a cab driver. There are tests, and you have to get a medallion and all this kind of stuff. So
Yeah.
I call BS.
I mean, it's been done. One of Moon Knight's identities was a cab driver. I don't know if it's just like, oh, hey, I might hear some information,
Right, but even as someone who's never lived in New York City, I know that there's no way he would be reading about that in the coffee shop and then be driving a cab hours later.
I don't know. Money talks.
Ridiculous.
No, Lil. The Moon Knight comment was not a jab at Ray. Thank you very much.
But at least he quits right away, so that's good.
Oh, yeah, and he even says the police department recruits needed. No. He says so. He's like, no, I want something to take my mind off fighting crime. But shouldn't he be like, no, I didn't have a good experience at the last time I was a cop?
Right, which is the other reason why I'm thinking you shouldn't be a taxi driver. Not that you're going to be fighting crime, but you might be involved in crime because people are going to try to rob you.
No McDonald's, no phone solicitation. No. So then we see Raptor looking for someone.
Yep.
Oh yeah, like you say, then we see Dick driving a cab, but he has a bad experience with the head of the taxi and limo commission. So delivery boy, coffee barista, truck driver, no way. Japanese translator needed for new manga publisher. Choose your own hours. Perfect. If I knew Japanese.
I'm surprised he doesn't.
I know. I'm like, I would have thought that would have.
They're always throwing in that the bats know all kinds of languages.
I was going to say, I thought that would have been Bruce boot camp there. Just.
Well, you know the way it is at DC now. They'd be like, Bruce Wayne knows every language.
I know. I thought it'd be like something, at this point, it's like, oh yeah, Bruce had me listening to Japanese, tapes to learn Japanese while blindfolded, evading gunfire in the Batcave.
Yeah, that does feel about right.
Oh, but then he meets up with Ryan. He sees Ryan and Zen again.
She says, I'm going to give you a massage because he's all messed up physically.
So yes, Lilith, you get a shirtless Dick Grayson. I mean, probably more naked, but all you see is the upper body. So
he has the sheet on.
I know.
The massage helps him think better, and he realizes something important. So he goes back to the lab. And shocker, biotech pharmaceuticals used to be a subsidiary of what?
LuthorCorp or LexCorp.
Oh, shocking. LexCorp Weapons Department. Who's surprised? No one. Lex is always doing nefarious things.
Exactly.
So Dick finds him at Lichner's house and somehow gets him away. No, wait, that's not. Is that Lichner's house? Oh, yeah.
Lex Luthor's a perfect angel. Okay, Lilith. What, Lilith? You have his flag on your car outside your house? Come on. No, I shouldn't say that. Lex was a better president than some people.
Well, yeah, but that's a low-ass bar, Phil.
Lex turned over his taxes and divested himself of his businesses. He literally did. He put Talia in charge of Luther. Lex.
Yeah, I know. Lex is also actually a good businessman and is smart.
You don't see any of his colleges going out of business. No. I mean, all right.
Anyway, and I know Dick missed the party, but
Oh yeah, 'cause he's
he got some sleep, which is important.
He's busy saving this guy and fighting Raptor. Well, no, he didn't save the guy because he goes back and he's burned up. But then Dick's like, "Oh, Raptor was telling the truth. He's not the killer because someone else killed him while he was busy fighting Raptor." Yeah. Oh, yeah. He hears the music from the party when he gets back home. Man, that's a pretty nice apartment. I mean, I don't know if it's just the art, but that looks nicer than what he had in Bloodhaven.
Yeah, but Bloodhaven was a crappy city, so yeah.
Yeah, true. If he has that kind of money, why does he need a job? I mean, that's probably an expensive apartment.
Just want to be bored all day? I don't know.
I guess.
Because they always walk this weird line, I think, in the comic books where they want to make them relatable, but then also they need to have enough money to spackle the plot holes. So they're like, oh, yeah, I have money, but I'm going to get a job because I'm just like you. It's like, no, you're not.
Yes, love. For tax purposes.
There you go. And then the creepy man is coming in. You were supposed to die.
Because Dick's like, oh, I'm so tired. I'm just gonna take a quick nap. It's like 8:30. But then we see it. It's like the shadowy figure at 1:48. It's like you were supposed to die in the crisis, but somehow you survived. That will have to be corrected. Which again, you're not going to see that in this book. I think it's the Monitor. I think. Lil, correct me if I'm wrong. I believe that was the Monitor. It's been forever since I read this.
Oh yeah, I was kind of wondering. I'm like, yeah, do we ever find out who that was?
Not in Nightwing's book, so yeah. Especially once Marv leaves the book. Yeah, it's like
that's weird.
Trying to remember if they were paid that off. There we go.
Next one.
126.
Oh yeah, this was funny when he was talking to Alfred on the phone.
Yeah, he's sitting in the rain, outside in the rain. Yeah, let's talking to Alfred.
Oh yes, Dr. Slater.
But yeah, Dick's like, oh, the killer hasn't taken the bait, and Alfred's like, oh, may I suggest if there weren't a hurricane, they would have taken the bait. And Dick's like, oh, what are you saying? I'm the only one stupid enough to not coming out of the rain. But yeah, I don't know why Dick's swearing all of a sudden, but yeah, Alfred's telling him, yeah, that's gonna cost you.
You can tell they're all rich because every time it's $5. I mean, the heck.
Well, yeah, by the
$5
towards the end of their conversation, it was like 20.
No, he says 20 is what he owes.
But I like how you see, like, take care, Alfred. I miss you.
Yup. And then we see Raptor, and we're getting more information. The suit is weak. And somebody just shot a bunch of fire at him.
Oh, then we see this mysterious assassin who's about to come up here.
Listening to his iPod.
I know.
All right, so he's establishing he's got that. Okay, so who's this JJ guy?
I don't know. I believe this is the first time he showed up. So
okay.
I believe this is like must be a Marv creation who just shows up. This is the first time we see him. And after
he was not in the tentacle story.
Oh, no, I don't think.
And so I was like, is he in a different comic?
I was gonna, because I think Marv brings him in, and then once Marv's gone, I think this guy's gone. So, you know, it doesn't show up again. So
Weird. All right. It's nice that Dick has a friend.
a shut-in
he can talk to,
a shut-in who doesn't like to go out,
but who likes to invent things. Like the winger with
The winger.
4 lines and massive tensile strength.
Winger. Oh, this guy must be a fan of crappy rock bands. All right.
Also, we find out that Dr. Slater is staying there.
Oh, yeah. Anything new you want to tell me, Mimu, besides the fact that the Raptor armor was designed for military use? But yeah, so it was stolen by someone who worked at LexCorp. I love Slater. Is he still looking for me? Well, what do you think? Everyone else on the list is dead except for you.
I was like, dear God.
I think I can get you in the witness protection, but you have to do better than I don't remember.
That is pretty weak.
The guy, I swear, I had no idea what we were doing was illegal. Dick, yeah, sure. What army was Lex building that armor for? Okay.
Then he finds out they've already cleared out the spot. All the biotech pharmaceuticals.
Yep, not even a fingerprint.
Pretty suspicious.
So yeah, I guess Dick asked the neighbors, nothing. He's like, no one saw any trucks, so did they bring in the helicopters? Rule of thumb, when one gets bogged down, stop thinking, get a massage from a beautiful woman and let your mind wander.
Yeah, see, some of the couple things like those, like that doesn't feel quite the same as when Marv wrote it before in the 80s.
Exactly, yeah. Well, was it just that he was in a committed relationship and now he's a single man? I don't know.
I mean, but he wasn't in a committed relationship at first.
True. But
I mean, I think it's just the kind of like beautiful woman thing that feels slightly sketchy because he obviously needs a massage because he's working himself too hard, and letting your mind wander was helpful before. Just, I don't know. It seems slightly schemy. But then we see him doing a job that actually makes sense for him to do, unlike cab driver, which is helping that kid on the trapeze.
Yeah, because I guess there's a gym in this facility too, and this kid's like, yes, trying to master the trapeze. So, Alex. So yeah, Dick's literally showing him the ropes. But then,
then he gets the big reveal. Well, how can you do that? Because I was literally in the circus.
She's like, you're joking. Nobody real was ever in the circus. I was just a kid. Google Haley's circus. My parents were known as the Flying Graysons. And he's like, I just don't talk about it much. I'm like, they don't. And again, it's like, well, duh, she don't know. She met him like what, a day ago, maybe?
Yeah, really. I mean, she has already given him a massage, but like, she's a professional, so yeah. It's like I've known you 3 days.
I mean, they're neighbors, but yeah, they just met. But yeah, he's like, I was gonna stop by for a massage, but nah, but maybe later. So I guess he's running late. And then we see, what is that, JJ?
Yep, JJ, they've been found out.
Yep.
Jane Slater. Then we find out the bad dude has braces.
Yeah, it's like
the assassin, I guess, who's different from the money man.
Well, that's the other thing. I don't think we ever see the assassin's face, or it's like, so I'm like, is the assassin supposed to be young, or is it just the guy trying to act young or something? Because again, he's listening to music on his iPod. He's got braces.
He said the word bitchin'.
Yes, exactly.
I mean, somebody is driving him around, but he is smoking. So, but I mean, I feel like if you are a teenage assassin, you wouldn't really care about following tobacco laws.
They're cloves. Ugh. It was anarchy. No, well, this guy loves money too much. Anarchy's not in it for the money.
Also, braces are so establishment. I feel like anarchy wouldn't have those either.
Exactly.
Braces are just metal tying you to the man.
Lilith, I have to make that a drop.
I had braces for many years though, so
Oh, she lived her life.
Out.
She lived her life in chains. Now she cams the chains of orthodontia. But yes. So Slater gets killed, but Nightwing catches up with JJ. But yeah, he's like, before he died, Slater accessed the files, got the name of the tech. But then at the end, we see, yes, Raptor himself gets killed, and then Dick catches him once he finds the dead body.
Yep.
Finds out Raptor's name was Jace Lawrence. He was 35, had a wife and 3 kids. Funerals today at 2.
Okay, doesn't Dick's outfit there feel like very Burt Ward?
A little bit. I wonder if that's what they were going for. Yeah, the jacket and.
The khakis.
So yeah, so he goes to Raptor's funeral as Nightwing.
Well, yeah, he couldn't really go as the.
Yeah.
So we get some more info about him.
Which just seems, I mean, again, we're setting up for the next issue, but it's like it seems kind of weird that he just like drops in on the widow and the kids at right after the funeral while they're still in the cemetery. It's like, wouldn't you wait till I got home at least?
No time like the present.
And yes, Lil Fire, I absolutely 1000% agree. We need more Kristen drops. Lil's like, anything to take the heat off me. Miss almost 2 full pages.
All right. Then I feel like 127 starts off I mean, clearly they start us off in the middle, but at first I was like, did I miss an issue? Am I reading this out of order?
Yeah, no, it kind of like jumps in because at the end we see the assassin and his limo driver, whatever, negotiating, and because someone wants Nightwing dead, and because they negotiate for $6 million.
That's a lot.
That's when you know we're good. Yeah, when someone's offering $6 million to kill you. So yeah, we kind of jump in because 127 we see Dick getting buried, and that's what we get on page 1.
And we got our assassins, also a little philosopher. Death is a soundtrack composed for parasites and compost.
Oh, so he is.
He does sound like a high school student.
It's like a high school goth, yeah. But yeah, it's so weird. I mean, unless Marv was planning to bring this guy back and didn't, because it's like we never see the face. He's always in shadow. But yeah, as he's fighting Dick, I guess he hits the wounded shoulder and then he knocks him into this empty coffin. But then Dick closes the coffin,
So that he gets an air pocket.
Yep.
Also, that one picture cracks me up on. I guess it's the 4th page where he's talking about the air pocket saving, where he's just so casually reclining there in the coffin.
Yeah.
Just laying in there with the dirt, like, yeah.
He's like, I think I'm facing north. I'm sure I fell that way. But they like the cliff. It's on a cliff. He's like, the cliff's behind me, 25, 30 feet max. Graves are usually only 6 feet deep. Would be easier to dig around and up than all the way to the edge. Assuming nobody's waiting, could take the chance. I can't get more buried. But then he's thinking, no, I'm not strong enough for another one-on-one. I mean, I get it for story purposes, but like that cliff's not that far away. I'm like, if the assassin was up there, wouldn't he hear Dick like tunneling out of the cliff face?
Man, maybe he's hoping he's not listening very closely. I don't know.
But yeah, he's thinking again how he hit the injured shoulder, and he's like, don't panic, gotta keep my breathing slow.
And as he's digging, I mean, I thought this was a good issue once. I was like, okay, I didn't miss anything. It's kind of going back and forth. That he's really thinking the case through as he's going.
Yep. But yeah, he's thinking over, Raptor's body, goes to see the wife. He's thinking, he stole the Raptor armor and he was killed for it. I know, because all the scientists who worked on the project were killed too. So he's like, the first question, why would a bankrupt LexCorp murder their scientists? Secrecy. Because of the bankruptcy, an underground project would have been revealed? No. They've been bankrupt for months before the killings, months after the suit was stolen. Luthor doesn't want to clean up his messes. For once, this isn't about him. If not Luthor, who? No answer yet. Move on. But yeah, this is Raptor's grave. He's like, why was it empty? Why was he dug up? He's thinking about JJ and
the things they learned, and he's and that must be why he goes to maybe that's part of why he goes to the funeral.
Yeah.
Or, I mean, is because he knows the Raptor suit was stolen.
Yeah.
Okay, then here comes the weirdest part. You know which part? The girl's part. I was like, what?
Are you talking about the floating heads of all the women?
Yeah, well, and he's like, I wouldn't even be here if Ryan, and then he's like, no, it's not her fault. Mind wandering. He's like, women, 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 girls, girls, girls. How can I have known so many of them and not known any of them at all? I'm like, what?
I mean, the rest of them, okay, but like Corey and Barbara, I'm like, you know them.
Right. Well, and Clancy's there, and Huntress, who's the blonde?
I don't know. Is that the one from the annual? Remember
oh,
the
maybe.
woman
Emily.
he faked
But
married?
I also object to them putting Tarantula on there.
Yeah.
And I think that was one of the other things why people get so mad. Because, and sometimes why I also partially feel bad, because Devin Grayson is a very nice person. And she knows, I mean, she said in multiple interviews, I didn't think that through and I messed up. But she wasn't the only one that messed up. I mean, people that came after her have also, I mean, throwing this in here like, oh, women, how have I known so many? Like, you do not put Corey and Barbara in the same category with Tarantula. That's not even close.
I mean, you could always headcanon it, or it's like, when he says, all these women, I didn't know them. I mean, you could make that case for Tarantula where it's like, oh, I thought she was one thing. I thought maybe she could be a force for good. And then, oh no, she did not turn out to be a good person.
Right. Yes. Yeah. Actually saying, how can I have known them and not really known them at all? That actually does work very well for Tarantula.
Yeah.
In a way that it doesn't really work for the other ones. But it's like, I don't think that's what he's saying. It feels like they're throwing Tarantula as like, oh, another relationship. It's like,
I know.
no. No.
And again, it almost seems like he's starting to panic here. So, I mean, just anxiety. Maybe that's why Tarantula is floating into his head, because another, a time when I'm sure, I mean, we saw what happened after the whole Blockbuster thing.
Right.
He pretty much had a breakdown.
Right. Well, yes, he's saying, I have to be. But that was probably the weirdest part of this. I was like, what?
Yeah, I know. Mm.
And yeah, we see the pictures that I'm assuming the assassin's driver took.
Oh, yeah, for proof.
He's like, don't panic. Your mind is your greatest weapon. He's never wrong. He's never wrong. So obviously it's Bruce that said that.
Then he's thinking about, Raptor's widow and her telling him about how they fought and stuff. And then the son, no, he's not a killer. Yeah, Dad had a temper, but he's not a killer.
He's like, what does it matter now?
Then he shows him talking to the kid, giving him a cell phone. Ah, look.
Flip phone.
2006 flip phone. That's right.
Yep, we're still pre-smartphones.
Oh, and then I guess he did get that other massage.
Right. And then it's like, this was the other part that was kind of weird to me. It's like, I feel like Dick would not do this. This felt like coming on too strong, where after massage, she says, you can get dressed now. Why? I was like, shouldn't you ask her out on a date first?
Yeah, that is kind of, I mean, even if he had just, that is kind of weird, especially since he's like wearing nothing but a towel. Yeah. Yeah, that's not good.
And then how George, which we've never mentioned before, but we haven't held all the conversations. He's like, I thought you broke up. And he's like, oh, it's okay. A friend.
I mean, again, too, she could be just making this guy up, because it's just like, oh yeah, hey, this guy who came in to get a massage who I just met a few days ago is already like sending out creepy vibes.
Right, yeah. Although I did crack up when she says, hey, I know you've got your dark brooding Jared Leto thing going on. I was like, oh, that really hits different now that we know how messed up Jared Leto is. But then Dick's face where she's like, I mean, you seem really nice.
But yeah, talking about, how her and George are just like, been on and off again. And it's like, no, it's okay. I shouldn't have. Yeah, no kidding. I don't know what I was thinking. She's like, friends? Yeah.
So that was good. And I also like, Ryan is very smart. Obviously, she's going to med school. She's like, well, that mean going into medical school, I don't need anything new or complicated. I was like, that's right, girl.
Boy, he has a type in this era, because didn't Clancy start going to medical school?
Yes. So. Yeah, he's going to meet her, yeah. Well, he always likes women who are smart and can take care of themselves.
Well, that's what I was going to say. It's either superheroes or future doctors, yes. So, yeah, he's still trying to tunnel out, but the hole starts caving in, so he has to, like, basically drag the coffin with him.
Right. And then also how he's like, it's not her fault I'm here. It's like, yeah, duh. I don't understand. It's like, I also don't even understand why you told us this story, because it really, I mean, I get it, but also it has no bearing on you.
I know. I mean, I just thought he was getting loopy when he's like, oh, it's not her fault I'm here, because lack of air, he's starting to,
So it would have been fine. I just wish she had been like, do you want to go on a date? Not said why. Because it did seem like she was kind of hitting on him. And maybe if he'd come to the apartment and she hadn't gotten back with George, there would have been something So it was also kind of nice that, like, I do appreciate that they didn't have them get together, because sometimes it is nice for them to not always be throwing new love interests in.
And sometimes men and women are just friends.
Exactly. Anyway, yeah, he pulls the coffin some to keep the tunnel from collapsing.
But yeah, he keeps thinking about the case, and then he's. This is weird. I went to the cemetery to talk to the body, to go over things in my mind, how to clear my head, and that's what he's saying. That's when the assassin hit him with a shovel. He was good. I didn't hear him. I couldn't stop him. So we get back to the first page, like when the guy starts shoveling dirt on him. Then I guess he heard the voice. You were supposed to die in the crisis, Grayson, but now we'll do. So he finally tunnels out of the cliff. And then we see shadowy room of people and scientists with Raptor's body.
Well, right, and then but they do imply that this guy knows who he is.
No,
or is that supposed to be the other guy?
I think that was the shadowy figure, but I don't know if Dick was just he heard the voice like he did in the first issue, or if he was just getting confused because he heard the voice and thinking it was the assassin. But
right, because that was kind of weird. But then, yep, boom, he makes it out.
which he could have just tunneled straight up. But anyway,
It's not as dramatic. It would have taken a whole issue.
that's true.
And then we see they're working on the body. Dun, dun, dun.
All right, so then we get to 128. So we see Dick swinging back to the city. I think I'm living on borrowed time, but at least I'm living. So why don't I feel, I don't know, happier? Barbara. After her, no. Because of her, I came back to New York to figure out this third chance at getting it right. But he makes that comment. I was supposed to die twice. I mean, okay, Infinite Crisis was one time. When was the other time he was supposed to die? I'm trying to think, like in continuity.
Do you think it's like a reference to he was supposed to be killed too with his parents?
I don't know. I didn't know if it was like more current stuff, like the blockbuster stuff, or like after Bloodhaven got bombed and he rushed into the city and Superman was like, it's radioactive.
I mean, now if they had said this now, I'm like, oh yeah, we can list off tons of times he was supposed to have died.
Oh yeah, shot in the head. The other time he was shot in the head. Yeah. I don't know.
Yep.
So.
But anyway, now we finally meet the bad guy who's hiring things, which is one of the business people.
Yeah, I think they all worked for Lex. So.
Yeah.
But of course, you got the bald guy saying, "Oh, Luthor shut this project down for this reason because I guess the power supply for the armor is what killed the Raptor."
Yeah, that's right. Then he's really into when you look into the abyss also looks into you. I mean, what philosopher is that from?
Is that Nietzsche? I don't know.
It might be, yeah.
Yeah, you're always staring at that grave. There I was, 6 feet under, buried over.
Yes, Nietzsche, beyond good and evil. When you gaze into the abyss, it gazes back and tells you what you were made of. Well, boom, there we go. Also, though, his suit is magically better, even though his hands were all ripped up.
Oh, true.
from digging. Now he's all good.
Unless he stopped to pick up another parrot.
How could he
No.
still pick up? He's still at the cemetery.
Well, no, on the first page we see him like swinging in the city, so I didn't know if that was like, did he go home and come back?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, the time, I don't know what the timeline is here, but then he sees a chapel. He's about to go into a chapel, so is he about to get all religious on us? But then JJ calls.
Well, wait, we have to do. This is a great quote about Bruce. My parents didn't talk much about God. Bruce never did, though I'm pretty sure he believed in the devil. Classic.
Oh yeah, he believes in the
I mean,
devil.
it's not supposed to be funny, but it always kind of strikes me as funny. Also, it strikes me as very true.
Oh, there's the devil now.
Indeed.
So yeah, JJ calls him, and he's like, Raptor is back. So Dick swings back.
This part I did think was also a little odd when he says, Corey asked me why I did it. I never answered. Barbara would say it's because I know it's the right thing, but no. I mean, I sort of get the answer when he says easier than having to think, but I don't know. It also feels like that's his answer because he's kind of in a bad place right now.
Yeah.
It's like he's definitely not as light as he has been at other times.
Yeah, it's not as dark as the tentacle monster stuff, but yeah, he's still not his bright chipper self. I wonder if that's another thing why Marv's writing seems different here, is like if he chose to go that path, or if they're like, yeah, no, don't make it all roses and rainbows right now.
Right, because I don't know. It's weird. It's hard to say because I wouldn't say Dick was not, when he was in the Titans, wasn't. I mean, he wasn't Garth, or he wasn't Gar,
No.
totally. But he just seemed a little lighter. And I mean, I think he would have been like, oh, saying it's the right thing to do is too simple. But then I mean, like, it's the only thing I trust myself to do, or it's easier than thinking. It's like, whoa, dude, that seems a little too gritty there.
So, but yeah, I don't know if Marv wanted to do it or if they told him to play up the whole, oh, hey, you were supposed to die, so you're living on borrowed time thing. I don't know.
I would also just like to point out one thing that I got lots of enjoyment out of was this anti-drug advertisement that was in mine, where some dude and his little puppy are at home and he's laying there smoking some marijuana, and he says to his dog, "Can't you just walk yourself?" And the dog thinks, "You disappoint me." So don't do drugs, kids. You'll disappoint your dog.
I remember that. You disappoint me.
It's pretty classic. Actually, I think I'm going to take a picture of that. So
there you go.
It's that hilarious. All right.
So, but he said he never really answered Corey about why he puts on the suit and stuff. He's like, I'm not out for revenge. I don't need to prove anything to myself, and I have money, more than enough to buy my own island hideaway. So why do I do this? Why do I do any of this? Barbara would say it's because I know it's the right thing when you look in the abyss, but no, she's wrong. This was weird. It's impossible to think of anything other than the immediate moment when you're trading punches with some meta-powered glandular reject. I thought this was weird too, that he said it's almost like he's thinking it. I do it because it helps me not think.
Yeah,
I mean, at this point, okay, maybe, but not previous. So yeah, whoever's in the new Raptor suits, basically just like tearing up the city.
Oh man, sorry. There's also another hilarious commercial with this little dog. Friend says, "I smoke pot to impress the ladies." And his buddy says, "Try football." As someone who was a lady, I'm not impressed by either one of those, though. Bro should have said read comics. It's in a comic book.
Exactly. But I think you would respect football more than drugs, though. Oh!
I really don't like football.
Well, that's true, kids.
All right. Then the dude, the bad dude, bad businessman. Is there any other kind?
Oh!
I mean, in DC, most of them are not good.
I like this, Kristen, coming in with the hot takes tonight. Yes.
He reveals, he's like, Nightwing's alive. I thought our assassin. And then one of his colleagues is like, what?
I know.
And then he's like, oh, yeah, I paid him $6 million. She's like, what?
I know. She's like, wait a
You
minute.
had the scientist killed?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Norman, bad.
Yeah, if you're a Norman businessman in comics, yeah, it's not good. But I love it's like, oh, yeah, so our assassin placed him in a death trap and then just left. Oh, he's alive? See,
Assassins and their death traps.
See, that's the thing. It's like if we had a more confident Dick in this story, I mean, he should have tunneled out and been like, you know what? It was hard to get out, but it's like, I've been escaping traps like this since I was like 12. Some maniac's always trying to bury me alive.
Then we have the quote, I don't need no stinking weapons.
Oh, yeah, because he swings
That's
in
funny.
and the cop, he's like, I'll take care of this. And the cop's like, you don't have any weapons.
He's like, I don't need any stinking weapons. Also, I like on the bus how it's called Grey Dog instead of Greyhound.
Yeah. Because, yes, he's getting his shots in on Raptor. And then Raptor throws him into the bus, like hits him into the bus. Then fires on the bus and blows it up.
And then I have this quality commercial or advertisement for, guess what the hot new Nintendo was? The Wii.
Oh, yes.
This little guy playing with his cat. If you're looking for the most active gaming experience of your life, check out the Wii.
Oh, my.
That's what he said.
But the scientists are like, my God, now we know why we couldn't find the link. Every time he fires his weapons, he breaches the armor. Every time he kills, he's killing himself.
Yeah.
And again, I don't know if Dick would do this, take the risk of like killing the guy, because when Raptor gets ready to fire again, Dick like grabs it and like makes the whoever's in that Raptor armor shoot himself. And he doesn't end up killing himself.
Which is pretty serious. Yeah, it does seem, because he's like, I was somewhat relieved. What? Only somewhat?
Well, he says, yeah, I thought I may have killed him, but the coroner's report said he didn't die because of the napalm explosion. It's because he had to absorb massive quantities of radiation. Shouldn't have been like, yeah, the napalm blast did kill him, but he was already dying.
Right, yeah. Whatever.
I know. I mean, even if Marv had just had it where it's like, oh, hey, he's going to like shoot a bunch of innocent civilians, or it's either Raptor or the civilians. So. Because again, it's like the whole Blockbuster thing he feels all guilty over, but this, he's not going to think about this, this isn't going to torture him.
Yeah. Like I said, I remember reading these when I first went, and this I think is actually the middle one that we're going to get into is pretty weird. But I remember because I read a bunch of New Teen Titans and then I was reading the Nightwing. I remember reading this and I was like, Marv, what happened?
Yeah, I know. I remember reading this.
And actually, this one is not as bad as I remember. I mean, there were a few weird things that I was like, what's up with that woman aspect, and why the frick do you say, why should I get dressed? Like, too strong. But this one actually kind of hung together a little bit better. Although, yeah, we don't find out who's the weird dude that's going around talking, and that made me a little confused.
Yeah, I don't know if that was supposed to be a bigger plot in like the next event, and I don't know if they ever really paid that off. So, oh, but the scientists are all like, "Oh, what are we gonna do? Oh, we'll have to tell our buyers. They're gonna have to wait longer." But then it's all set up because the buyer is Lex himself.
Dun, dun, dun.
Because I designed and built the armor, you stupid little man.
That's right. And it's revealed. You don't understand, Mr. Bowles. Norman Bowles, that was his name. Nobody steals from Lex Luthor. Boom! He blows the tower up.
He says, "You and those third-rate sycophant managers." Joseph, I love it. Third-rate sycophants.
I mean, those people did suck that they were keeping the project going. You feel bad being like, yeah, Lex, you kind of had a point.
Well,
Then you don't feel bad because then he just blows them all up and you're like, oh, okay. That's classic Lex right there.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, so they rebury the original Raptor, and Dick's there with the family. And the son's still upset, so the son runs off. And runs into a woman dressed like a bride.
And she asks him for the exact time, and he's like, I mean, who even? Not that many watches will give you the second.
So, yes, who is this bride looking for her groom? Well, we'll find out next week, kids.
The end seemed okay, though.
Yeah.
Like,
it's kind of like a bookend for the first page of the first issue.
Yep. Oh. But he's like, you shouldn't ever give up. Now that sounds more like the Dick Grayson we know.
Yes. Oh, yeah, definitely. It sounds like Dick Grayson. You figure out pretty fast that no matter how hard it is or how impossible it gets, you can't, you shouldn't ever give up. Yes, that's a very Dick-esque line, yeah. All right. So, thoughts on these four?
I mean, it wasn't bad. Like I said, I pointed out the things that I thought were kind of weird.
I mean, it's better than Tentacle Monster.
Yeah, although Tentacle Monster gets points for being so WTF. I mean, you turn into a tentacle monster? What? You get points for really leaning into the absurdity of the comic book genre. I'll give it that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, this has things that you're like, this is not resolved. So that was.
And is this weird too? Because Marv was mostly. Do you think because Marv was mostly used to writing Dick in a group dynamic, and here it's his solo book?
Yeah, that could be.
Yeah, because he had a bunch of friends and his girlfriend and everyone around him. Here it's just, especially at this point, it's New York, so it's basically like, oh hey, I got to create a supporting cast.
Yeah. Although I think it would have been cool. I mean, whatever. Obviously, they didn't ask me, and this isn't what they decided to do. But that could have been really cool if Jason had come back a little less murdery, or earlier on, if he had been like, oh, maybe I don't want to be so murdery. And Dick and Jason could have been doing stuff for a little while, like together, aside from just Tentacle Monster. That could have been interesting.
Yeah, they really didn't make Jason less murdery until New 52. So, yeah, like 5 more years to wait. Yeah, I mean, Dick and Tim would have been cool too, but Tim had his own book, so.
Right, yeah, and he was still Robin. Although, isn't this around the time? I hadn't realized, but it's really close after Infinite. It's pretty close after Infinite Crisis that Damian comes in, isn't it?
Yeah, I believe this is the year Damian yeah. Well, again, you could say Damian's first appearance is as an unnamed infant at the end of Batman: Son of the Demon. But yes, yeah, his appearance as he is now is I believe it was 2006. Yeah, because Grant Morrison I think jumped on Batman, and that's. Yeah. But again, another murdery, because he pretty much tried to kill Tim, like in those first couple issues.
Right. Oh yeah, and it must be soon because I saw the one that comes right after the issue that comes right after this. Marv Wolfman's writing is the Nightwing tie-in for Resurrection of Ra's al Ghul.
Oh,
so
yeah.
Damian had to have been introduced before that because he comes and then he goes back for a while, right?
Yeah. Because they introduce him, he's around for a while, yeah, and then he goes back with Talia for a while, yeah. Then he comes back. I think he leaves and goes with Talia for a while, and then I think he kind of comes back around the time Batman R.I.P. So
Yeah, I was gonna say because he's already there when Bruce is dead.
yeah, so yeah, they kind of bring him back so he can be Dick's Robin, yeah.
Actually, I guess that will tie us in. That was the news, which is not necessarily Dick Grayson related.
Yeah.
DC announced their slate of movies. Have you seen for the Batman Brave and the Bold? The picture they keep using is of Dick and Damian during their Batman and Robin run because they keep doing that one where Damian's got the sword, and I'm like, that's Dick as Batman. So yeah, as I said in the group chat, I'm of course stoked that we're going to get Robin again in a movie. I'm just disappointed that they went directly to Damian.
Yeah, again, are we going to jump into like a fully formed DC universe? So if we do get Dick, he's already going to be Nightwing?
I don't know.
Because that might be.
But I think the other reason though that it annoys me, well, I don't think, I know because it's my own thoughts. One of the other reasons it annoys me is when I think that DC sometimes with the Batman stuff plays too much on Damian being on Damian being Bruce's biological son. Yeah. And that annoys me because the Bat Family is about family, and it is also about how blood does not make a family because very few, really only, Bruce and Damian are blood, and I guess Kate because she's his cousin. But he's not, he's much closer to other people than he is to them. And so it kind of annoys me that they clearly want to do a kind of father-son Batman-y thing, but they immediately default to, oh, well, we finally, after 70 years of Batman, we finally invented his biological son, so we're going to immediately jump to that.
I think
that annoys me.
They do that just because of the because he is biologically Bruce's son. So that way, when these days, if people are like, "Well, how does a kid keep up with Batman?" It's like, "Oh, he has Bruce Wayne's genes, Mr. Perfect." That's why.
I guess it just feels like a cop out.
I know. And again, I think they're really gonna they really want to milk the cash cow that is Nightwing right now too. So.
And yeah, that is. I don't know. But that is I'm sad because they're skipping over a bunch of the Robins, but that is the real thing that annoys me is if you want to, it's a father-son thing with Bruce and all of the Robins.
Yeah.
Maybe it takes a little bit longer for the father-son aspect to develop with Tim since Tim has his real dad alive for longer, but
I think as long as we get Dick at all, it's better because in this, when Zack Snyder was running things, it's like, remember, was that Batman Superman where there's like a Robin uniform in the trophy case? I think they were, according to Snyder, that was Dick's, not Jason. So it was like,
yeah, they never really said anything because there was just the one, not like three. In there or something.
Yeah, if Dick was already dead because Zack Snyder.
So yeah, whatever. But no, honestly, none of those movies I'm really looking forward to. I'm kind of like, whatever.
Yeah, hopefully we'll get an announcement on some Nightwing thing. Hopefully,
I want them to bring in Dick Grayson Robin in the Robert Pattinson Batman because that would be a fascinating dynamic of emo Batman and his circus child.
Yes,
that would be great.
All right. Anything?
Well, and I guess that's I'm just going to let it all out, Phil. That's my other thing that I think also annoys me about the them defaulting to Damien is because they're emphasizing too much the importance of blood to family. And also it kind of portrays Bruce in a worse light because they're doing it as like, oh, he doesn't want a kid. He has to deal with this kid because it's biologically his kid, so he has no choice. Instead of with the other kids, Bruce maybe thinks, I don't know if this is the best because I'm a bachelor kind of thing, but I think I can offer this kid something and I want to try. And in this one, it's like, oh.
Well, I don't even think like the major thing is Bruce thinks he has to deal with Damien. I think it's more along the lines like, oh, I thought the Wayne line was going to die with me, but now it's through Damien it's going to keep going.
No, I guess I just feel like that's what I think they are probably going to do with the movie.
Yeah.
Is that Bruce it'll be like, oh, whoops, I'm a reluctant father or something. I mean, maybe not, but I can see that happening.
Maybe Dick
right.
will show
I'll
up.
Stop now.
That's all right. That's all right.
I'll stop complaining.
That's all right. Just write down some notes. You can bring it back next week.
Oh, I don't have to take notes about this. It's on my mind always, Phil. I don't need notes.
Oh my! All right. Well, more like a reminder. Reminder to
complain.
Reminder to rant about Damien.
No, I mean I like Damien. I just never mind.
I know.
I'm stopping.
All right, kids. So yes, come back next week for more of that. And of course, like I said, you want to know who that mysterious bride was? Yes, next week we'll keep going with Marv Wolfman Nightwing 129 through 132. So another 4 issues. So. All right. So, send us your thoughts on those. Email us CapesandLunatics@gmail.com or call the voicemail 614-382-2737. That's 614-38-CAPES. Oh, yes, that's right. I have a exciting announcement to make here. I've announced it 1 or 2 places already, but yes, we have our own website again, kids. So if you want to get links to the YouTube channel, all the social medias, merchandise. Just go to tubespace.io/Capes and Lunatics Podcast Network. All one word, Capes and Lunatics Podcast Network. And also, there's a thing where you can, if you sign up with your email, we'll send you an alert whenever a new episode goes up. So you have less of an excuse not to miss an episode of Nightwing News. So go sign up. Again, like I said, YouTube, social media, merchandise. So yes, find that all on our website. And it'll be in the show notes of every show. So if you don't hear so well, yes, go read it. Go read it down there. All right. And of course, most importantly, if you want more hot takes from Miss Kristen here, yes, go pick up Dick Grayson, Boy Wonder. If you want to support these rants, yes, go pick up Dick Grayson, Boy Wonder on Amazon right now.
There are no rants in that.
No, but if you want to support these live rants on YouTube, yes, go pick up Dick Grayson.
I see. There you go.
Help her fuel up for those rants. So yes, Dick Grayson, Boy Wonder. And can I say that one more time? Yes, Dick Grayson, Boy Wonder. Go pick it up on Amazon. All right. So thank you. The abyss was staring back at us. All right, kids.
It was.
Thank you for joining us again. Next week, continue with more Marv Wolfman, 129 through 132. Bride and groom. And who knows? Maybe we'll have more news. Perhaps I will have my own Nightwing figure. We'll see. Well, another Nightwing figure. How do I like that? Man, I need to figure out some nice fancy display to display all my Nightwing figures. Nice big pedestal with all this. I got 2 statues of Nightwing, a couple action figures, a couple Funkos. That's right, kids. So come back for all of this. And remember, join us same wing time.
Same Wing Channel.
The Nightwing News. Don't be staring at that abyss too long, kids.